What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video, and it is time once again. Every single year, the Game Awards 2020 is going down with Geoff Keighley. December 10th, it is upon us, where we have all sorts of cool announcements.
Or take this to the next level.
Or not. We have a bunch of people that apparently are gamers when it comes to celebrities, and all sorts of discussion and debate about game of the year, action game, best narrative, all this stuff about how people don't know what they're talking about here or there. Heck, I took part of it last year. It was a ton of fun, by the way. But don't worry, guys. I am here to tell you the absolute truth about the Game Awards 2020. The Game Awards in general. Now, I've been covering from a media perspective the Game Awards since its beginning with its rebirth. We're not talking about the old Spike or G4TV.com or any of that other crap that used to be out there. We're not talking about that, okay? We're talking about the actual Game Awards, the new style of when Keighley really wanted to make the show presentable and respectable and on a larger scale with this vision. And that's where we're going to start, because before I get into the truth about the Game Awards, because I'm going to say some stuff that some of you guys probably don't want to hear when it comes down to it, but it's not out of hate. It's honestly just telling my opinion based on what I've observed, but it's the truth at the end of the day. So first and foremost, I want to say shout outs to Geoff Keighley. I've talked about this before. I have a little bit of fun with him on Twitter, doing the Black Keighley skits that I've done before and all that. But at the end of the day, he's actually one of the reasons why I decided to do video games media at all. I used to watch him on G4TV.com back in the day, and I thought it was really cool to where he can just sit down with those two other chicks that were there on the network. I forgot their names, but I know like Tina or something like that, but I know they work for like Xbox right now or something like that. But anyway, he used to sit down with them and just talk about games for a 30-minute block or however long they had that show, and it was just great. It really inspired me that I wanted to do that at some point, you know. So shout outs to him. I think that he's been somebody that's been a great ambassador for the gaming industry. He's somebody that can get people together in order to talk about gaming, in order to show off new games. He's gotten amazing announcements out of all the companies, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. I mean, he's done something that nobody else was ever able to do up until, what was it, a few years ago, and get Reggie and get Mr. Layden and get Phil Spencer, all of the studio leads in America, together on stage at the same point, talking about the love of video games and what's important. So that is to be commended. Like, you can't sit there and not give him his props for that, and I'm definitely gonna do that. Now, with that being said, there comes a price to pay with all of this. It's not just all sunshine and rainbows with this type of event. There's no way that you can have something like this and there not be fundamental flaws, considering how much money is on the line, considering how much egos are on the line, considering so much stuff that goes into advertising and marketing. It's just something that's going to happen, and you can't avoid it at the end of the day. So we're gonna first start off with the general problem with the Game Awards, and that's just the general bias and problems with the committee and people who pick the games. It is not required for everybody who picks on certain genres in terms of who they want or what they want to get in or whatever the case is. It's not required based on their own rules to play everything. There are people who legitimately didn't play all of the different best games, but they are in there voting on what's the best game. And unlike what we see for other places, I know like IGN back in the day and other websites, they actually made it to where you had to play all of the games. You had to experience all of the games, or at least factor in or consider the review score that that game got when it went up on the publication and everything. But that is not the case here. Geoff Keighley and also the board members have made no indication that they're ever going to require somebody to do that. So somebody could literally just play a game here, a game there, a game there, be a part of this network or this group, and then all of a sudden they get a vote on what game of the year is, which is just absolutely ridiculous in my opinion when you're talking about an actual show that's supposed to celebrate the best and have the best winners win it. I mean, imagine if it was like the Emmys or Grammys or whatever the case is, and they didn't watch all the best movies. I think that's a requirement. Now, correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but it's a requirement to actually play or actually watch everything, and that's a fundamental flaw. We saw that front and center last year with the games. It's clearly obvious they didn't play like Fire Emblem, they didn't play Astral Chain, they didn't play a number of games that came out, they didn't listen to the music. I mean, we see the snubs that happen over and over and over. I mean, if you look at the general bias in terms of the people that are there, it's just going to happen. Now, is that something that is unavoidable? No, I mean, I don't think it is. Like, you're going to run into it. It's not unavoidable. You're going to run into it because people are naturally biased in whatever it is. I'm not saying that I'm better than any of them. It's just the natural thing that happens when it comes down to various different stuff, whether it's the content creator of the year, all the way to the esports or whatever the heck people even know about that, to anything else with certain games. If you're not requiring to have a fresh look at everything, it's something that's unavoidable, and I don't expect people to be perfect on that front. What I do expect them to do, at least take into consideration how good of a game is if you did not play that game. Take into consideration how it reviewed with your peers and everything, just so you have a little bit of an idea of certain things. But most people, or a lot of people, aren't gonna do that when it comes to it. They're just gonna pick what they like, even if it's Jump Force.
Best fighting game of the year, right, for 2019. Jump Force! Jump Force!
From last year, right? Oh, here we go. There's a game. There's Naruto running around. Let's go ahead and pick that. So that's why some of these things happen the way that they happen. All of those things kind of factor in, and that's the truth with it. But it's fundamentally flawed because humans are fundamentally flawed, and that's okay. Now, the other thing that I've been seeing quite a bit and people talking about, well, what's going on with these presenters, right? We have these celebrity presenters that have been announced. We have Stephen A. Smith.
And you running your mouth talking about you gonna beat him one-on-one? Why would you say something so blasphemous?
That apparently is someone that deserves to be presenting at the award show because he did a Miles Morales ad. I mean, I've been watching this guy for decades now, and I've never seen him talk about liking video games at all. And I know he's not paid at ESPN to talk about video games, but I've never seen him, you know, talk about it in his radio show, or at least just kind of put off an off comment here or there, or even mention any type of references or anything. But the Miles Morales ad will do it, so he's in. But the truth behind all of that, with Tom Holland, who's going to be, you know, obviously Spider-Man, right? That's a big gaming type of thing. Then Uncharted movie, so I get that. Brie Larson, she's done Animal Crossing stuff, you know, she's in the Marvel universe and everything, so I get that. But the reason why that they have these over, you know, like, let's say developers and all that, is because that doesn't bring in as many clicks. The developers and everything, they're already going to be there anyway for the games, right? So what Geoff Keighley's trying to do is that he's trying to get as many eyes on the show as possible. He wants as many big name advertisers to look and say, oh wow, look at this is a big show, end of the year, a lot of people play games, obviously it's a big multi-billion-dollar industry, as big and as bad as possible. And having all of these guest celebrities that probably don't even play games that much, or play games very little, considering they have a bunch of other stuff to do, or maybe not even care about games at all, it gets eyes on the show because they have millions upon millions of followers across social media. So the truth is, he wants to get those advertisers into the show. He wants to be able to, you know, make a bigger and better show, and you need those type of guest celebrities. You need those type of advertisements in order to do that. Now, gamers might not always love that because it's like, man, like, you're wasting time or effort or whatever the case is with these people that have nothing to do really with gaming at all outside of paid advertisements that they've gotten. But at the same time, he's looking at it like, okay, well, all of this costs money to produce. We got to pay the editors, we got to pay this and that, lights, all this different type of stuff, camera crew. So he's looking at it, and then of course himself, right? So he's looking at it like, okay, well, we need to have these people in order to make the show bigger and better. That's why he wants musical performances from popular bands and stuff like that. That's why he wants these celebrity speakers, and it's going to continue going that way. And I don't see it ever changing when it comes down to it, because it's just going to get a lot more eyes on this show. So to kind of wrap it up, guys, this is literally the definition of yin and yang, in my opinion, to a lesser degree. Not the real actual like evil and good and all that, but it's the balance for everything that's cool about the Game Awards, which I've talked about multiple times. like the announcements, right? Those are really cool. Bravely Default 2, No More Heroes 3, the big trailers and all that stuff. We've had Legend of Zelda, we've had Smash, we've had all sorts of stuff at the Game Awards. For everything that's dope about them, there's going to be things that are absolutely lame. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be stuff that just sucks about it, and we're just going to have to deal with it because that's just the way it is. In order to get certain things, there is definitely always give or take. And at the end of the day, for me at least, I'm trying not to take the awards so seriously. I'm trying not to take them as like the be all end all, because they're not. At the end of the day, it's all about the games and what you want to play and what you enjoy. Forever, the Game Awards will never acknowledge Xenoblade Chronicles as anything that's good unless it's the user's choice, you know, or something like that. But they won't acknowledge the music, they won't acknowledge the game, despite it reviewing really well and always getting great scores. They'll never acknowledge it, but that's okay. That doesn't mean you can't like it. They won't acknowledge certain games. That's fine. It's just certain people's opinions. So you just go there to the show, just watch it, enjoy the new reveals. You can kind of roll your eyes at some of the other stuff, but like I said, it's the yin and the yang. We kind of have to have the bad to get the good and vice versa and all that. So to me, I'm going to enjoy the show. I'm going to stream the show. I've been streaming it pretty much since like 2015 or something like that, 2016, something like that. But either way, I'm going to enjoy it, stream it, have fun with you guys, talk with you guys, and hopefully there's a lot of cool stuff. It does seem like it's going to be good this year. So what are you guys' thoughts on the Game Awards 2020? Am I truth? Am I off base? Am I not? What do you guys think? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this one here. Check out the link in the description. We've got Twitter. Go and give us a follow on there. Stay up to date on all latest gaming news and information. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.